Hey guys, I just wanted to go over the difference between a yoke and a DIN regulator and show you some options with that. So here you go. So what I mentioned earlier about the showing you guys about the DIN and the yoke regulator, I wanted to go ahead and explain that real quick. So a DIN regulator is what we have here on the desk. And so the way that this works, let me just zoom in on this guy here. Focus. Is that this piece here actually screws into the valve on the tank. So the seat, the actual part that seats and seals, is this surface here. So the regulator has the O-ring on this one. A yoke regulator, this piece seats on the front face of the yoke valve. And what that does is the O-ring is in the valve and it seats on that. And so where the DIN I think has the advantage, there's a couple different places, but the DIN actually screws into the back of the valve. So if this were the valve, it would screw in and seat in the back. So that takes a lot of the pressure of outside circumstances off of this seating surface. Whereas a yoke regulator seats on the front face of the yoke valve, and a lot of things, so kind of if you hit your head on or hit the regulator on a wreck or something, it could really crank down on it, pinch that O-ring and cause issues. Not likely, but it does happen. We just think that the DIN is a little bit more reliable. The other cool thing about the DIN regulator is that you can use a DIN regulator on a yoke tank with a simple $30 adapter. So I was going to show you that here too. So with the DIN regulator, a simple $30 adapter screwed onto this, and you now have a yoke regulator that can be used on a yoke tank. However, a yoke regulator cannot be used on a DIN tank with an adapter. The caveat to that being that the pro valves that you can take the donut out of and make a DIN, that you could use it on that, but in the travel area, so where you travel to scuba dive and they have mostly yoke tanks, you're not going to see the pro valves down there. They're a little bit more expensive, they just won't spend them. Yoke is definitely the most common tank around the world, but overseas in Europe and stuff like that, the DIN is more popular. And over here for tech diving and for rentals of high pressure steel tanks, like stuff we use for our megalodon teeth that you see on the desk there, we use the DIN tanks for that as well. But again, you can buy a DIN regulator, use that with a DIN tank. If you have to use it with a yoke tank, you can use a simple $30 adapter and make that a yoke regulator. But you can't go the other way, so you can't turn a yoke regulator into a DIN to use with a DIN tank. So that's one of the benefits of getting a DIN right off the bat, is that you have a lot of flexibility, and with a simple adapter that's user installed, you can go either way with your tank usage. So that's one of the benefits of that. Then again, if you know you're only going to be diving in clear blue water, warm water around the world, travel areas, then most people would be just fine getting a yoke regulator.